Coming to you live from the JRE Tobacco Aladino Mobile Studios, it's the Cigar Pulpit.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to another sermon from the Cigar Pulpit. I'm the Bishop of the Burn, Nick, and today I'm going to be joined by Mike Brinker as we take a look back at 2025 and kind of reflect on some of the more memorable cigars that we smoked of 2025. This is not necessarily top cigars of 2025, but this is what we're doing here is we're kind of looking at some of the cigars that just stand out in your mind as just they were just really good. And it may not necessarily be the cigar that necessarily is really, really good, as much as maybe the experience that you had with it, maybe the all of the other factors, like maybe you were at a dinner and you really, really enjoyed having that cigar with the dinner, and it just resulted in just a really good memory. So we're kind of looking back over some of the more memorable cigars of 2025. So let's go ahead and just jump into that right now, and I'll see you on the other side. And I'm joined by Mike Brinker. How you doing, Mike?
I'm doing good, Nick. How you doing this afternoon?
I'm fucking cold, man.
I'm a little
cold.
chilly myself.
Yeah, so you and I were recording a little earlier in the day because you said, let's get this done because it's the temperatures here are plunging. And just for the listeners at home, do you have what is your current temperature? Do you know?
It is.
I'm putting you on the spot, So.
Yeah, it is. Well, it's still technically 50, but the wind's blowing about 30 miles an hour here.
Okay. It's 18, but feels like 9 because we have, our polar vortex or whatever the hell. We've got 8-mile-an-hour wind coming from the north. So yeah, it's cold. And what's really crappy is deceptive as hell. It's so pretty outside. Like it's
the sun's out. It looks like it should be about 70.
Yeah, but it's not. So anyway, so I have both heaters going. I mean, I am just rolling the heat through here, and my little buddies, they're working hard, but they just can't. They're doing their best, but I don't know.
Did you ever hook up the big tank?
Oh yeah, I hooked up the big tanks to both of them. I got a hose for the second. I got a hose for the second one, and I have big, the big one, the blue rhino ones. I got them at what the hell? Oh, sorry, my Zoom was telling me I can apparently make hand gestures. So, watch it. Anyway. Yeah. So anyway, I got the big blue rhino tanks or whatever from Lowe's. And so, currently working on those, and I don't know, how much is left in each one. But they're both full enough that we'll be fine today, but
yeah, they should last pretty long with those things.
I would hope so. I mean, although I've got the heaters cranked pretty hard right now, so.
Yeah, but you think you can run a grill for quite a while off one tank?
Well, yeah. I mean, let's be so okay. I got 4 hours of low heat out of one 1-pound canister. Okay,
right.
So these are 15-pound tanks. So I should be able to get, like 60 hours of low heat out of the these, but then theoretically I mean, I'm definitely cranking them. They're at high right now. They're not at low. I should be able to get a decent amount still. Solid 15 hours or 20 hours each.
Sorry, I just had do you want this app to make changes to your computer? And everything went blank.
No, we don't. All right. Well, you know what? It's a cigar show. Let's get our cigars going here. So, you told me what you were smoking.
Yes, I am smoking the EP Carrillo Inch.
So I went to the humidor and I found an EP Carrillo Inch, but I found the EP Carrillo Nicaragua.
Yes.
And I don't know if it's different than what yours is.
I'm not sure either. It doesn't say anything.
I don't know. Mine's a 5 7/8 by 60. It's a Nicaraguan Puro. The wrapper is a shade-grown leaf from Jalapa, and there is tobacco from Esteli and Condega in the blend as well. That's all I know about.
Okay. I bought all these at the same time recently, so uh let's see, what does that say? That says that's not this. Yeah, I have no more information about
I
that.
was gonna say, I'm like, wait a second.
Uh,
All right. Well, it's time to cut the cigar, and the official cutting is brought to you by 2guyscigars.com. That's the number 2guyscigars.com. Two Guys have been around for 40 years, and they are the trusted name in the cigar industry. Everybody knows Two Guys, but if you don't, please give them a try. You won't be sorry. Family owned and operated, 2guyscigars.com does the very best, providing great selection, fair prices, and excellent customer service. You got your cigars at 2guyscigars.com.
yes. Yep.
Yep. So head on
And I
over. Oh, what?
I always post on the comments, Cigar Pulpit listener.
I was just about to say, head on over to twoguyscigars.com for your next cigar purchase. Tell them that the Cigar Pulpit sent you. And remember, that's the number 2guyscigars.com. And with that, we're going to go ahead and cut the cigar. Oh, that's cold. My cutter has been in the garage overnight. And I'm like, oh, that's really chilly. I was telling Mike before we hit record that last year, I had some fingerless gloves that I used out here when I was smoking. And for the life of me, I have no idea where I put them. And I hate that. I hate that because I know full well when I put them away last year, I said to myself, I'm going to put them here because I will remember this is where they're at and I will be able to use them next year.
I always
And
do that, and I never remember till I don't need that item anymore.
I have hidden them from myself, and this is bullshit. Um, I even looked in my coat pocket, thinking maybe they were in the coat pocket, but I didn't find them. No, but you know what? There's that other coat. I wonder if those little bastards are in the other coat. Well, it's too late now, but we'll see. So
Well,
anyway,
there's still plenty of smoking in the winter to do, so.
well, that's true, and it's not. I mean, although here's the real bitch: we're dealing with this freaking like little, polar vortex winter bullshit thing that we're going on right now, right?
Yeah.
And yet, I don't know about you. Well, you live down in fucking Georgia to where it's like, oh, it's warm in the warm all the fucking time.
Hmm.
They're talking about how our Christmas is going to be unseasonably warm this year, which I'm
Right.
fine with. Don't get me wrong. I am fine with unseasonably. I am fine with warm. I don't want cold. So, I'm fine with that. But yeah, I don't, I'm hoping maybe I won't need the gloves later this year, but we'll see.
It sounds like it's going to be an up and down winter, especially, for us. They're saying it's going to be wet and mild, but of course, without a farmer's almanac anymore, who knows whatever's going to happen.
Now,
It's
see, I learned something. There are two Farmer's Almanacs. There's the original old Farmer's Almanac, and then there's the Farmer's Almanac. And the Farmer's Almanac, which, mind you, both of them started forever ago.
right.
The old Farmer's Almanac is older, ironically. Um, but the Farmer's Almanac, the one that is shutting down, that one started in the 1800s. But it is not. But it's the newer one. It's the Pepsi to the original one's Coke, and so
Hmm.
it's going away. But the original, the OG Farmer's Almanac, the OG one, it's sticking around. So you'll still have a Farmer's Almanac to consult.
All right, I'm going to show you something here. Try to zoom it up. I've already got a pretty bad
Oh,
little
oh
crack and
shit!
pop.
Yeah, you do.
At least it's near the end there, so hopefully it'll
Oh,
burn.
damn.
It's drawing great and
Yeah,
it's smoking great, so I'm hoping that's just it
just a
looks like just
wrapper.
a wrapper discoloration type.
See, that has everything to do with the wintertime, man, and
Hmm.
the temperatures and the humidity and everything else. I mean, um, that sucks. Still,
But,
it
I
sucks.
mean, yeah.
It
Yeah,
just
like I
it's
said, it's still smoking good. It just, don't look at it.
yeah, there you go.
Kind of
Don't-
like my toe.
Oh God. Wait, your
I
toast
told you
smoking
about my
good?
toe. Huh?
Your toast smoking good?
No, I just try not to look at it because it makes me sad.
Oh, yeah, no. Should probably not do that.
Yeah.
Um, well, speaking of things that don't make you sad, you and I were talking, we're like, what are we gonna talk about today? And you came up with an idea, and I liked it. And I dug through my list of cigars that I have smoked this year. And you wanted to talk about memorable smokes of 2025.
Yeah, just a few that, maybe stuck in your head is like, man, that was a really good smoke. Be it atmosphere, people around you, or what you had just eaten, whatever.
Yeah.
Because I know the next few weeks you're gonna have a lot with cigars of the year and this and that. So, something like this might not have had time to get in there.
No, I think that's a good call. And yeah, I mean, at some point before this is all said and done, I'll have my top cigars of 2025, which granted, mine are more my personal. I mean, let's be real, they're all everybody's personal opinion, but
Right.
mine are they are what they are. But
Plus,
but
plus,
these are more the atmosphere.
right. Plus, I know you've got a Ask the Pulpit coming up before the end of the year. A lot of callers might be able to come up with a cigar or two and call
Valid.
in and say what they did, or
Mm-hmm.
what was the situation that made it nice for them.
Yeah, no, that's a valid oh my God, brain reset. Very valid point. Oh, my brain is cold and locked up. Like I could it was funny. I knew what I wanted to say, but my mouth is blah 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 blah. Blah. I just couldn't do it. It was
I
so
get
weird.
that when I eat too much ice because I'm a big soft ice eater. We've got a soft ice machine
Oh
here.
yeah, you make it like the Sonic ice in there,
Yeah,
the
it's
little
it's a
pellets.
Sonic ice type. Yeah, and if I eat too
Man,
much of it, my tongue like
you live in a rich
in
house. You get the Sonic ice machine.
the Stanley cups that keep it
Oh,
forever.
oh my gosh, you really are living large over there. All right. Well, I looked through my list and I know you said, just put like one or two. I've got four because I
Okay.
just, there were four distinct ones that stood out to me. And I want to say they didn't necessarily stand out because of the cigar. However, in the case of three of them, the cigars are very noteworthy. One of them, it was yeah, I'll get to that. But the events, the
Right.
circumstances of it all was very, very nice. So
Right.
so I don't know, do you want to go first or should I go first?
I've only got like two, so why don't you go first and I can kind of intertwine.
Okay.
You do one, I'll do one, etc.
So
Spread it out.
my first one I smoked on April 22nd, which I know that I mean that's the beauty of me keeping my list of cigars is I can tell you that. So that was a Tuesday. It was a Tuesday evening, and I know and didn't even really technically need to look that up because I should have known. So that Tuesday evening, April 22nd, I need to mute my phone here because that was an email coming in. Um Tuesday, April 22nd, I sat down right here. No, was it right here or was it? It was probably right here because I didn't go outside a whole lot at that point. It was rainy as shit. And I fired up and smoked the Byron 1850 Selection. The
Ooh.
the super nice. It was like this is like a 60 something dollar cigar. I've been sitting on this for a while. It was in the Cigar Authority pack a couple of years back. It was the December gift one in the pack a couple of years back. And I've been sitting on it because um I listened to the episode that those guys did with that cigar, and they were like, hey, this is one maybe don't smoke along with us, just to smoke it. Like, this is one to like really enjoy and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, this is going to be the most expensive cigar I ever smoke, or I have smoked up to date. And so I'm like, maybe I should hold off. Maybe I should just save a special occasion. So, like, I was sitting on it and I was sitting on it. And then it was going to be the first cigar that I smoked in the new house. And well, the show happened, and so it wasn't. And so I was like, all right, now I'm sitting on it again. Now I'm sitting on it again. And it was going to be my birthday. But my birthday that year was 43. So it was like, kind of like, I don't really care. It's a nothing birthday, And it's like, what do I do? What do I do? What do I do? And finally, April 22nd comes along. And I finish putting together the newspaper that day. Tuesdays are my layout days. And so I had just finished my layout and I wanted something to smoke. And I grabbed that because the edition that I had put together on April 22nd was the anniversary edition. It was 10 years of my newspaper.
Hmm.
So it was the first edition of the 11th year and it was like son of a bitch. I just have completed 10 years of this thing. And so that was my celebratory cigar on April 22nd, was the Byron 1850.
Awesome.
So, yep.
Cool.
Yeah.
My first one, it was, I don't know the exact date, but I know because it was a newer cigar. It was the West Tampa Devil Crab,
Okay.
which you've heard me brag about. I love that
I
cigar.
know. I need to get my hands on one. I haven't smoked it yet.
And it was the very first one I'd ever smoked. I had just finished a nice little chopped roast beef sandwich that I had gotten from a new sandwich shop down here, with
I
just
do love a sandwich shop.
it had it was really good and juicy, had a nice provolone cheese on it, and a really great, it was almost like a Cuban bun, like a
Okay.
Cuban hoagie, you
Yeah,
know,
yeah, yeah.
and just
I like it.
spectacular. I just, people were getting annoyed from me talking about that sandwich,
Mhm.
type of thing.
Ah, you know
And
what? When you encounter a good sandwich, like a
right,
really, really good sandwich, it just makes your whole day better. You
right.
know? Like
And
I love a good sandwich. I love a good sandwich.
I got home and
Yeah.
I'd had a cream soda with it.
Okay.
A
You had a full-on experience.
Right, and it was like a craft cream soda, that they had
Yeah.
there. I don't know the name of the soda company, but it was a small company.
Yeah.
And I still had half of it left, and I sat down here and I smoked that little devil crab.
Okay.
And the sun was nice and warm, but not hot, no breeze. I had a dog on my lap, sound asleep, and that cigar just smoked beautifully. It paired well with what I had just eaten and what I was drinking. And it
Mm-hmm.
was just one of those where I literally sat there and said to myself, this is the perfect smoke today. It was just, everything just hit.
Lovely. I love that. It's that moment of zen that comes from the cigars, you know? This is what we do it for. It's the
Right,
relaxation, it's the zen, it's the celebratory nature, it's just all of that. It's that moment. I love that.
right.
So, well, very cool.
That was my first
Um,
one.
all right, well, I'll do my second one and then we'll figure it out from there. I might do two and then we can bop back to you because you've got two, you said?
I've got three. Three.
Okay. All right. Well, then, perfect then. Okay. So the next one I smoked on July 26th, and that would be, I believe, I think that's a Saturday. I think that's a Saturday. I can look. Doesn't really particularly matter. It was a weekend, the last weekend in July. It was July 26th. And I was down visiting a shop in St. Augustine, Stogie's in St.
Okay.
Augustine at the time. And I smoked. I don't know if it's a house cigar or if it's one that like not a lot of places carry. All I know is the band intrigued me greatly, and I smoked it, and it was good. It was the fuck this shit Habano.
I have
Um,
never heard of that.
it was very very small print and done in like stripes, and so if you looked at it, you almost thought it was just a black and white striped band, like white band with black stripes. But when you look very closely, you can tell that it's a very small font and it just says fuck this shit. And it's just fuck this shit, like in stripes all along the cigar. But it was a good cigar. It was very inexpensive, but it was the moment. I was sitting out and I was enjoying life out on this little so Stogie's, it's not a big place. You walk in and there's the counter and there's the walk-in humidor and that's it. Like if you've ever been to St. Augustine, it's a very small little shop and all of the seating is outside. So they have like a little bench, patio section right outside the door with covered seating and then they've got some like tables in like a little courtyard area there that you can sit and smoke at. And so, I got that cigar, I got some drinks, bottled water kind of thing and whatnot. And I sat outside in that little courtyard and I had just an absolutely truly wonderful day with a very special person. And it was just it, but it was a great day. And so, and it was I don't know. I'm not giving the people all the details on this one. This one's for me. But somebody out there knows what I'm talking about. But it was just a truly wonderful day. And that cigar just happens to be the one that I smoked. And so it just kind of hit perfectly. It smoked really, really well. For a seven, I think it was $7, $7 inexpensive cigar. It smoked
Wow.
really, really well. So
Awesome.
yep. So I dug it. So the fuck this shit. Habano. So
All right. My next one, it was early October or late September. I don't know the exact date, but it was a really nice evening weekend. And we had some people over and we were smoking a big brisket and a strip loin roast, which is amazing.
uh-huh.
And we had the big TV out there and we were all watching the Georgia game. And there were three or four people smoking exports that I had handed
Okay.
out, and then I was smoking a McAuliffe purple.
Okay.
And my brother-in-law had prepped some nice smoked sausages on the grill as like an appetizer, and we were all kind of snacking around with that and some grilled shrimp,
Man, that's
which,
my kind of place, man. When you're getting smoked
yeah,
sausages as an appetizer, it's like,
yeah.
hell yeah.
And, everyone was just having a good time, cheering on the game, beautiful weather, and that cigar just, the spice of that purple with the spice of the sausage just hit perfectly.
Okay. Okay.
And, other people smoking, which doesn't always happen around here, but
No.
they were smoking some exports, that I had, and it was just a really great evening.
Well, good. I like that. That sounds nice. And and the export's a good one to share because
Hmm.
it's not super big and intimidating, but it
And I
smokes
get the
really, really well.
I get the classic, so it's not as heavy of a hitter
Yeah.
for the
And it,
people like that, that aren't used to smoking, you know,
for sure. No. And it smokes really well. So no,
right.
that's
So
awesome.
when I get to smoke with people out down here, because like I said, the lounges aren't as prevalent. So I'm
Yeah.
usually smoking by myself on the patio or something. So that brings something when I actually got other people smoking with me.
There you go. I like it. I like it. So my next one is also a Villiger. This was done on Thursday, August 21st. This would have been the cigar that I smoked during the VIP dinner at Pulpit Fest,
Ooh.
and it was the Villiger Miami. I smoked that at dinner, and we had Hector there from Villiger. Shout out to Hector, awesome guy. He was down at the Sabor Havana had their Smoke This event this past weekend
Oh, really?
down there in Miami. And I know that Sean and his lovely bride went down there and hung out and did that. And he said it was a fun time. But I know Hector was there and helping out and working the Smoke This event. So, sounded like fun. But back to Pulpit Fest. We had asked Hector prior to the start of the dinner. We asked him like, what should we pair with this meal? And given the cigars that were in the pack, he recommended that with the chicken parm, the salad, and all that, and everything that we had, that the Villiger Miami was the pick. And boy, he was right because it paired wonderfully with everything on the menu that we had at that dinner. But then also, um, that cigar smoked slowly enough that it lasted me the whole dinner. And then
Mm.
also, I never once had to like give it more flame. Like every time I went back to it to pick it up, it always still had enough cherry to it to where I could like get the smoke rolling again and it was no big deal. Like it never went out.
Wow.
So
That is awesome.
I had a wonderful experience with that Villiger Miami at dinner that Thursday night at Pulpit Fest. So
Awesome.
yeah.
I love chicken parm too, so.
Oh, me too. It was good chicken parm too. It was tasty. I don't know. I was like little fat kid getting all excited about chicken parm over here. So,
But when it's
oh,
done right, it is so good.
exactly. So, all right.
Uh,
What's your next one?
my last one I'm going to highlight was November 18th, my birthday,
Okay.
and it was just me and the dogs here. So I was like, you know what? I had bought a Atabay from two guys,
Oh,
and I'd been sitting on it for about 8 months. And
okay.
so I was like, okay, this is the time to smoke that, you know? I
Yeah,
mean, I'm
no,
not
that
one of
is.
those keep it forever type deals. So I'm like, I'm gonna smoke that Atabay. And
Yeah.
it was amazing. It was just, another perfect, nice warm afternoon.
Had you had
Uh,
an Anabay?
no, I had never had an Atabay before.
That's what I was wondering because
Right. It was my
that
first one.
that was rattling around in my head thinking that this was your first one, and I didn't know if that was accurate or not. So
Because I
okay,
posted it on the parishioners website too,
that's it.
smoking my first Atabay.
That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was just, I mean, I get why
There's
it's as expensive as it is.
I would say
It is an amazing stick.
yeah. There's a lot of hype to that cigar, and that when people talk about it, they talk very highly about it, and so it's
And I
one of
was
those ones.
worried, you know.
That's exactly it. It's one of those things that I could easily see where you could come into it and be like, "Oh, I've heard all these great things," and then you smoke it and you're like, it was good,
It
but
was good
yeah,
for 18, not 50,
yeah,
or something like that.
but
But
your opinion of it was positive.
yeah, I'm gonna buy some more after the first of the year for, special occasions or, the perfect meal or something like that. Now, I did just get the Robusto. I didn't get a bigger size,
I
but
mean,
that was perfect enough for me because it again smoked slow, and I'm a faster smoker.
I
I
mean,
was able to get a lot of time out of that stick.
one of those days that I was up for the expo and I was hanging out with Ed Sullivan, we popped by the Nashua store and we just bought the little baby Jesus. I don't know. It's one of the sizes, and if you say it fast, it sounds like baby Jesus, and so it's like that's what he called it, and I just kind of glommed onto it as the baby Jesus. So I don't know. It's one of those sizes, but it's just a little guy, and even just the little, little itty bitty one, probably no bigger than an export. I would say something
Right.
like about that
Oh, wow.
size. um, oh, it smoked beautifully. And you got all the and it's one of those ones that you don't want to smoke fast. You want to take your time and really enjoy it. And so like and you can get time out of it. Oh.
Awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I'm going to try and record more of my cigars this year. I said that last year and I fell off quick, but I'm going to try again.
All it takes is one bad day where you forget, and then you go to it the next day and you're like, fuck, what did I smoke? And you can't remember. And then at that point, it's kind of like, whatever. I have not encountered that yet. I've
Well,
managed to remember on the days that I don't record, I've managed to remember what it was I smoked thanks to garbage on the tabletop and things like that.
I got the new humidor coming,
Yeah.
the big one,
Yeah. You
and that
invested in
comes
that.
Monday. So
Ooh,
what I'm going to try, I'm going to keep my journal right by the humidor to where when I pick the cigar out, I write it down because I smoke
it's a
90
good idea.
plus percent of my cigars now here at the house.
Yeah.
So that hopefully will make it easier.
Yeah.
You know, where I found I was having trouble was the driving and smoking, or, I did that a few times and then I misplaced the journal somewhere.
Um, I find that when I'm driving and smoking, when I take the band off, I put the band in the passenger seat. And then when I get home for the day, I grab all the bands out of the passenger seat. And then that way I have them all there so that if I didn't jot them down in my notes in the phone at the time, I can go back and do it. That's
Mhm.
my best method for that. And then here at the desktop where I record this, I chuck cellophane and bands over in that corner over there. And so what ends up happening is I can accumulate a couple of days worth before I clean it off. And then it's like, okay, did I get everything from yesterday? And I kind of parse through the garbage and whatnot and figure it out. So, anyway, um, well, my last one is one that I smoked on October 13th. I smoked it when I was down in Miami. It's the one that I smoked when I went with Hector over to Pina Cigars in Miami there. That was the place where the ladies did the whole experience, the coffees and the all the different fruits and nuts and this and that and wines and whatever, and they lit the cigars with the cedar spills and everything else, and it was just a wonderful experience. And that was the Villiger Anniversary Edition 2020 Brazilian Toro. That was the one that was done for Mr. Villiger's birthday that year.
Okay.
And that was a very, very good smoke. It was light, but it had a lot of flavor to it. It smoked so really well. It smoked really, really well. And I got a lot of time out of it, but the flavor is just what really popped for me. And I just keep coming back to what they were talking about when they were lighting the thing. Now, granted, I was getting this through Hector because I didn't have my AirPods to do the instant translation thing, but they were talking about, the importance of when you're lighting it, lighting it slowly so that the tobaccos slowly expand and open versus like if you hit them and light them too quickly, they close and the flavor doesn't come out quite as well. So I don't know. I don't
Right.
know if there's anything to it or if it's just flashy showman bullshit, but I'll say I got a lot of flavor out of that cigar. So I really enjoyed it.
You know, something I've been hearing from different podcasts and reading on different, deals where they talk about these, greats of the rollers and the blenders, the elders of the industry.
Uh-huh.
I find more and more of them aren't going for heavy hitter, heavy cigars. They like the milder smokes with a
Yeah.
lot of different characteristics.
Yep. Yep.
And it's like I'm not going to get into specifics, but the one I was just listening to, he was talking about, his father, the blend he really liked was too mild, he figured, for most people. So they had to go stronger, but that's what he prefers. And it's like, I notice that more and more that the elderly are not the elders of the industry
Yeah.
have gone from that heavy, dark, hardcore, and they're more milder and milder.
Oh, I definitely think it's a consumer driven thing. I think if
Yeah,
you were to let the manufacturers make cigars based off of what they enjoyed, I don't think we would have some of the ones that slit your throat and kill you like we do. Now, granted, some of these manufacturers I do think enjoy that. There's a few of
right,
them that, I could think of off the top of my head that I would assume that they enjoy that based upon the cigars they put out. But there are others that, yeah, I think that they probably wouldn't offer some of the more heavy ones they do if if they didn't have a market for it. But that's the thing, there is the market for it. And that's kind of the
right,
beauty of the industry in that like if you explore around, if you smoke around the humidor, if your shop is a good, well-rounded shop, if you smoke around the humidor, you can find different blends to where you can find the ones that slit your throat and you can find the ones that are mild and have good flavor. The Atabey is not a strong cigar. It's a very
no, it is
mild
not.
cigar, but it is full of flavor to it. I mean, and that's what it makes me happy with it. I mean, I like ones that are maybe a little bit more stronger in the strength profile than the Atabey, but the flavor is what makes me want to come back to it.
I've said this back when I was running a shop, to people. You can't be afraid of the strong cigars to try from time to time, and you also cannot be afraid to try a milder stick from time to time.
Mhm.
You've got to, like you just said, you've got to try them all because you're going to find something that you just never know. Like a
No,
lot
for
of people
sure.
wouldn't try that champagne from Perdomo
But there's a
because it
lot of strength
looks,
to that.
yeah, and there's a lot of strength in that and a lot of flavor.
I mean, I've heard
Uh,
people say like, "Oh, first time smoker, you should try the champagne." It's like absolutely not. Don't give them the champagne for the first time. Yeah, no, I know. It's
don't be
it
afraid of a Connecticut is what
there are some really good Connecticut's out there. I mean, I had
hmm
that one from Fuerte Libre on the show not too long ago, and it wasn't that one. That was the Avalanche, but there's another one that he does, the Sun Country.
Yeah.
if you look at it, you're going to think it's just a Connecticut, but I'm telling you, that's a Connecticut that knows somebody, and it's got some strength to it, and it's got some power, and it's good. It's really, really good.
Yep.
But yeah, no, there's a number of Connecticut's that are out there that are really good. Um, so moving off of this topic, do you have any more, or do you
No,
want to?
no,
All right,
that was the three that I wanted to highlight.
so we're gonna pivot. We're gonna pivot to something. We're gonna pivot to a kind of a cigar tragedy. Um, so, and a very interesting situation for me. Um, so I went and I grabbed a cigar out of um a bag. I have Ziploc bags
Hmm.
in some places, and maybe if I'm at an event or something like that, I collect up the cigars. And when I store them, I mean, I have my main cabinet humidor, but then I have Tupper doors and various other things for the excess. And so if I go to an event, sometimes I'll collect them into the Ziploc bag and then I put them into, I'll put like a Bovida pack or something in that, and then I'll put that into the humid or Tupper door, and that way I know like, okay, these are the cigars from TPE and these are the, whatever, that kind of thing.
Hmm.
Um, so I was looking for a cigar the other night and I grabbed one. And it's going to remain nameless, and I'm going to do my best to hide the band here because I don't want anybody knowing to see what this is. And so I go in and I grab this cigar and I come out and I sit down, here at the desk, and I get it out of the cellophane and I just kind of like I'm getting ready to light it. Getting ready to light it. Haven't even cut it yet. I'm kind of looking at it, giving it a look over here real quick, making sure there's no cracks, before I light it and everything. And that's when I find, I don't know if
A
you can see it.
hole. Oh man, yeah. That is
That
a
is
beetle burrow.
That is a beetle burrow, and it looked like he was chomping next to that little hole right there. So then I was like, son of a bitch. So I quickly ran inside, grabbed all the other cigars that were in that Ziploc bag, took that out to the kitchen, and inspected every single one of those cigars and found no evidence of damage to any of the other cigars.
Hmm.
Put them into a separate Ziploc bag. Not, I took them out of the one that they were in, put them in a totally fresh one, um, and segregated the other cigars by this company because it's pretty obvious based upon this that this company does not do the freezing, you
Hmm.
know, because that's the thing. The beetle larvae or eggs or whatever. They're, look, it's a natural thing that happens with tobacco. There's gonna be eggs on tobacco leaves, and it's just something that happens. But here's the thing. I don't understand how in the hell this even happened, considering I know that this cigar wasn't kept over humidified.
Hmm.
Certainly, I would actually argue, based upon some of the conditions, it probably was under humidified, but whatever. Additionally, I would say that it wasn't kept in overly warm temperatures. I mean, it was kept in my house. It's not like my house is like too hot, but for whatever reason, this one decided to have that. And not only that, but what's interesting is the cellophane. I don't even know if that's even remotely viewable or not. There's holes. There are two holes in
Ooh.
the cellophane. So this guy was not only chewing on the cigar, he chewed holes. Like it's super impossible to even see on the video,
Yeah.
but he chewed holes in the cellophane. And I'm like, all right. So I didn't see it in the Ziploc bag. There's no holes in that Ziploc bag. So it's not like he chewed out of the Ziploc bag. But yeah. Needless to say, I've been looking over my stuff in said Tupperware
Yeah.
pretty closely because the last thing in the world I need is that being an issue. Haven't
Oh yeah.
encountered it elsewhere, so this is so far, knock on wood, it's a one and out. But
That might have been a box that got hot in transport
mhm.
and everything happened in transport and finished.
That's a really valid point. That might have been like that back when I got the thing,
Hmm.
and I just didn't even notice it. But
Especially if it was like from an event or something
uh-huh.
where you're just grabbing cigars. You're not sitting there, you're like, hey,
Hmm.
thank you.
And it was. That's the thing. It was from an event. So, um, yeah. But no, it definitely was one that caught my attention because I'm like, man, this is not something you see like
That much
normally.
in it. Yeah.
This is
I've seen it
not
a couple times in all my year.
first time. This is the first time I've ever encountered
Oh,
that since
really?
I've started. I had my first cigar in July of 2018, and this is my first encounter with having one with a hole like that.
Well, I've encountered them working in a shop
Well, that makes sense. You know,
because
you're
you've got
gonna
a lot more,
a lot more coming at you. Yeah,
right? And
yeah.
you got to instantly pull everything from around there,
Hmm.
segregate like you did, segregate it, and you can't be passive with something like that because it can take down a humidor in no time.
Yeah, but yeah, no. Now this cigar's been sitting out here on this desktop since that happened the other day.
So it's
Uh,
froze.
oh, it's definitely frozen. It's definitely frozen out here. I mean,
It's just
uh,
weird how they can make such a perfect hole.
oh, and dude, and if you, I mean, you can't see it on the video, but I took my flashlight and went right next to it, and it's a just a little burrow hole right
Mhm.
down into the filler.
Yeah.
So yeah, it got right down in there. Um, what sucks is it's like a $25 cigar too. So
Ooh.
it is not a cheap date that had that happen. So it can happen to expensive cigars. It's not just a cheap ass cigar.
No.
No, this was an expensive cigar that this happened to. So, for what it's worth, yeah, watch your shit.
Yeah.
Because yeah, anyway. All right. Well, that's my PSA. So
Yeah, I
let
mean that was a good one because
well.
people need to know that they could lose their humidor real quick.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. All right, well, let's do this because you and I both have some stuff for it. Ooh.
It's time for the Villiger Cigars Entertainment Report, brought to you by
Villiger.
Villiger Cigars, one of the leading cigar and cigarillo manufacturers in the world, founded in 1888 and still family owned and operated. Head over to VilligerCigars.com and check the store locator to find a shop near you that carries them. We guarantee that Villiger Cigars will be a wonderful addition to your humidor and cigar rotation.
I'm giving my cigar a little bit of a secondary cut there. Um, just because at the risk of, I mean, it's one of those things. It fucking happens, but the thing started bleeding a little bit of tar,
Hmm.
and I was like, it's like that's not a nice flavor, and so yeah, so I don't know if it was just a little too tight and it was doing that or what, but all right. Mm-hmm. How's your smoking? Mine's smoking really well.
Mine's smoking really good. I got past all the wrapper issues.
Good.
So and it's drawn great, got a good burn,
Yeah.
you know.
No- Yeah, no, I mean that's the thing. The burn line on it is really pretty good. Construction on it's been really good. Draw on it, admittedly, after I did a cross crown or cross V cut, there.
Yeah.
And after I did that, man, it really opened up. So maybe that was it. Maybe I didn't take enough off when I did the straight cut, and I was trying to draw on it a little too hard, but it didn't seem like it had a poor draw. But I don't know. Who knows? But
What I like about the inches is with my cutter,
yeah,
my little Zycar cutter,
yeah,
it's just big enough that you can't get past the cap. So I just
okay.
put it as far as I can on it and clip it, and it always gives the inch a perfect cut.
I was gonna say, so it's like a built-in perfect cutter.
It's like a built-in perfect cutter for a fatty.
Interesting. All right. Well, Villiger Cigars Entertainment Report. What have you? I watched something very specific, and it might cause some conversation. Well, what have you watched?
Um, on your recommendation, I have just started the first season of Fallout.
Bridget. Oh, I thought Bridgerton.
No, I'm a couple episodes into Fallout and I enjoy it, so I'm probably going to power through that before I believe the second season's getting ready to drop.
Sometime very, very soon. And dude,
Yeah.
and let me tell you, you are fortunate because I watched it when it came out, and it came out a long time ago.
Right.
And I remember when it was over, I was like, this is awesome and I want more. And then they're like, well, we're getting ready to start filming. And I'm like, fuck.
And you can tell just by the production value that it probably takes a while to film and do everything that needs
Let's
to be
put it this
done for
way.
that.
I was living in the duplex when that came out. So that was at the earliest. It would have been the beginning of sometime last year. So 24.
Hmm.
Um, yeah, it would have been, well, okay, let me think about my life and life situations at that point in time. Um, yeah, it would have been end of February, some mid to late February by the time that I would have been watching that. So yeah, it was of last year. So it's
Of
been
last year. Because
yeah,
I
of
was
last year.
still in St. Louis when you
Yeah,
moved. So
it's been like 2 years, dude. So I've waited 2 years for this second season, whereas you're waiting like I don't know, maybe
mm,
2 weeks or whatever,
yeah.
So yeah, it's definitely yeah, I'm envious of you because you can just jump right into the next stuff because it's been a wait. But no, it's a fun show, and you're only and how many episodes are you in on it?
Two. I'm only two.
Oh, you got so much more to go, and it gets
Yeah.
so good.
That first episode was a little confusing the way they jumped around to introduce the characters,
Uh-huh.
especially because I watched the first, when they introduced her,
Yeah.
and then I had to stop. And when I came back, they introduced the gentleman, the new gentleman,
Yeah.
the squire. And I thought it was a different show that Amazon had fucked up when I said continue watching. I'm like, this ain't the right show.
Yeah, yeah.
And I went, and then I was like, oh, I backed up to, and I was like, oh, okay, I just stopped it at a weird time,
You stopped it at a very odd place to stop.
and it
Yeah.
started up right with him, and I was like, yeah, this is a different show. What the hell?
uh yeah, no, man, you got all kinds of fun stuff to go here because stuff with the ghoul gets really good. Oh man,
Yeah.
yeah, no, you're gonna dig it. It's a fun show. Uh,
Um. Also, I've been obviously watching a lot of college football and NFL
yeah,
football.
yeah.
I've been partaking in some of the holiday deals. Like I always watch the old Rudolph and Frosty and try
I
to
like the
catch those.
Garfield one. I'm telling you,
I
I'm
have
click
not seen that on anything.
YouTube. Just hit up YouTube.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to hit YouTube
That's where I
because
found the Thanksgiving one. It was YouTube.
hmm
So I'm bet or the Halloween, yeah, the Halloween and the Thanksgiving. I watched both of those on YouTube. I think the Christmas one should probably end up on YouTube as well. And yeah,
and I
the
haven't seen I haven't found the Peanuts Christmas episode on yet.
so Peanuts is a weird one. So like, how many years ago was it? It was a handful of years ago. Apple TV got like the rights to like the Peanut stuff and like whatever.
Locked it
And
up.
they locked up, I think, Halloween and Thanksgiving, but then like Christmas, they like made some deal where they allowed like somebody else over the air. It might have
Right.
been CBS or NBC, one or the other, to run it over the air, but not necessarily on the streaming.
Probably ABC because that's owned by Disney.
That could be. But then Apple had it for streaming, so it might be on Apple TV. That would be the only thing I would say.
I caught
Um,
most of these over the air. Uh, like even today, I caught the end of Rudolph's Shiny New Year.
there you go.
It was on today
See,
on one of the
that's
channels.
how it used to be, man. It used to be you'd come home and like Thursday night, on ABC, it's like they're playing Peanuts Christmas special. And, you had to sit down, you had to time it out and watch it. And I remember growing up, we had this VHS tape that had all these that we had taped one year. And like what was cool is all the commercial breaks were still there. So like you'd watch it and it'd be like, there's the commercial for the Rolo bar and the
Hmm.
like, the various toys and other bullshit and everything. And like, so then you'd watch it like 10 years down the road and all the commercials are all super retro and shit. And
Oh
it
yeah.
was great. I love that. But yeah, no, not no. Now it's all whatever. But um, Yeah, no, I like the Garfield one because it's a very heartwarming story. It Garfield learns a very valuable lesson in that one. It's very good.
He
I like it.
always does
Yeah, he has to. It's the whole
because he's
point.
kind of a dick.
He's a very selfish cat. I mean, he is a cat.
Well, he's a
So
cat. Yeah.
yeah, but he does learn a very good lesson about the Christmas season in that. And you get a whole lot of John's grandma, and she is a very underrated character in the whole
Hmm.
thing. She, yeah, it's a whole thing. But
But that's what I've been watching right now. Like I said, once I get into I'll usually power through it pretty quick and then move on. So
hmm you haven't watched 24 hours of a certain movie, be it Christmas Story or
no,
any of the others
no,
at this point.
we've had that discussion. I am not a big.
Ugh. I
A lot
like
of those I've
watching.
never watched at all. Like I've never watched Elf all the way through. It's like and I'm a Will Ferrell guy, but I just
It's
can't.
he's in a. I look. There's a lot of people that say Elf's their favorite Christmas movie. Elf is too much for me.
Hmm.
It's like sitting there and like consuming all the sugar at one time.
Right.
It's like this movie is gonna put me in a diabetic coma. I'm not the biggest Elf fan. I think I watched it last Christmas. And I think that was the first time I'd watched it in years. And I'm good. I'm good. Vacation is the one that I watch every Christmas.
Right. Yeah.
I have to. It's
And that's
whatever.
one they don't 24-hour.
I know.
I
That
mean,
would
it's
be
on a
one.
lot, but
It is
it's
on a lot, but I would, I don't think any of them need a full 24 hours though. But yeah. So I'm gonna take this in a totally different direction. You went with the football and the the fallout and the Christmas, and it's more heartwarming. I went with the
I
I
wouldn't call
watched
Fallout heartwarming.
no, maybe not. But I went with Sean Combs' The Reckoning. That's the Diddy documentary on Netflix, and let me tell you, man, I binged the whole thing in one sitting. So 4 episodes. We're talking over 4 hours by the time this is all said and done. And there's two things that I'm going to take away from this. The first is don't ever piss off 50 Cent because he will come at you with a hatred previously unseen by man. I mean, this guy, you know, so the way the story goes, and this is all with a big allegedly at the front of it. Allegedly, at one of the freak offs, Diddy tried to get Fitty, wanted to maybe have sex with him or something like that. I don't know. And he was not happy with that situation. And so this is so he basically made his life's goal to ruin Diddy. And so Diddy, in his infinite wisdom, when he had about a week, he was in New York about a week before he was arrested. And he was in New York to try and, drum up some public appeal and fight this and blah, blah, blah. And I think he knew the hammer was getting ready to fall, but, he was there to kind of fight it. And Diddy hired a production team to follow his ass around and to document everything. Well, Diddy, in true Diddy fashion, based off this documentary at least, didn't pay the guys, the documentary crew. And so they had all this footage. And so what happened? 50 Cent went to him and said, I'll buy it. And they said, okay. And they sold all the footage to him that he then turned around and was able to use for the documentary, along with a whole bunch of other shit that he had. And dude, I'll tell you what, the other thing I learned from this is that Diddy's a piece of shit. That guy, like from the word go, was misogynistic asshole to women. He was, like they're acting like, oh, this whole like abuse of Cassie, I think was his girlfriend's name, and all this. This didn't just happen. He'd been, one of the guys said he's been beating on women since the 90s. It's like,
Yeah.
and there's all these people in this documentary that all basically say the same thing, which is, yeah, Diddy will love you until he doesn't need you anymore, and then he'll step on you to get further. And he's got a history of not paying people for their work. The artists at Bad Boy, were constantly struggling to get paid, whereas Diddy's making millions and millions and millions of dollars off their backs. And they kind of like did a little comparison between him and uh Suge Knight, and how
Yeah.
like the artists under death row over with Suge Knight were doing really well for themselves because Suge Knight wasn't like stealing the profits and the proceeds like Diddy was. And um the documentary doesn't come right out and say it, but man, it implies so heavily, so heavily. I mean, they lay out a really strong, compelling case that Diddy was responsible for the shooting death of Tupac, and that he also basically set up Notorious B.I.G. to get killed, even though B.I.G. was one of or Biggie was
His artists.
one of
Yeah.
his artists. But it was one of those things where Biggie was getting bigger than what he was going to be able to handle, and so they had just signed a new contract with Biggie, and then Biggie died, and there's a guy in this documentary that flat out says that Diddy came to him and said, "Hey, I want you to swap out all these middle pages of the contract with these new pages of the contract that were basically allowed the terms to be more beneficial to Bad Boy than to Biggie." And the guy was like, absolutely not. Like, what the fuck? This guy just died. You're going to try and fuck him over in his death. And they had the big funeral for Biggie and everything. And it made it
Hmm.
look like Diddy and Bad Boy paid for it. Pff, no, fucking, it was an expense to Biggie's estate, So this whole giant funeral thing that everybody thought Bad Boy paid for, Biggie paid for it, in a roundabout way. And shitty stuff. The guy's just an asshole. And so, then when he ends up getting um uh found not guilty on some of those charges, but then found guilty on it, and he only gets 50 months, you're just like, man, this guy needs a whole lot more time in jail than just 50 months, before it's
Right.
all said and done. So yeah, it was definitely a compelling um documentary about Diddy. And now granted, I guess you got to take it with some grain of salt because obviously it's, executive produced by a guy who flat out hates Diddy. So, it's probably not going to be the most flattering,
Right.
but yeah, I don't know how you take some of this and spin it in a flattering manner.
You
Mm.
said that's on Netflix, right?
Hmm. Yeah, it's on Netflix. Um, and then Diddy, or not Diddy, 50 Cent, he goes and does interviews, and I don't know how true this is, but it's one of those things that's making the rounds of the internet. He did all these interviews promoting a documentary, but he specifically made sure he did ABC News because apparently ABC is one of the only channels that's viewed or able to be viewed in prison. So you want to make sure that Diddy, if he's sitting around in the room and they're watching TV, there's 50 Cent talking about how much of an asshole Diddy is. It's like I said, that's that level of just like needling hatred that like it's just, yeah, he's gonna come
Yeah.
at you. So
Man.
mm, hmm the other thing that was pretty obvious in the documentary is that Diddy will steal your woman. Like he was like all over the place. He's just stealing people's women left and right from underneath them, and it's just like, what the hell? He's just constantly like
He seems like
taking.
one of those from everything that I've read and seen that he thinks he's entitled to everybody's everything,
Hmm.
and
Hmm.
you just need to accept it.
Hmm. They found the dude that was like the the gigolo that was hired for like 2 years to come and have sex with Diddy's girlfriend while Diddy watched with all the baby oil and shit. And like he was talking about how like the baby oil was spiked with some drugs to where it would like get into his skin and shit and everything. And he's like, they're doing ecstasy in order to be able to have sex for like 2 days straight,
God.
and this and that. I mean, it's just insanity, man. Just absolute insanity. So
God.
I'm telling you, it's a fucked up world. It's a really fucked up world. So yeah, so I watched that. That was that, and I don't know. Otherwise, I have spent this weekend. It's been cold as shit here in St. Louis. Like we got hit with this freaking polar whatever the hell thing, and so basically, like Saturday, I ran a few errands, but by lunchtime, I was home, and I haven't really left the house since then. And I've just been reading a lot. I've been
Reading or listening?
reading actually,
Oh.
but I've been catching up on my comics is what
Oh, okay.
I've been reading a shit ton of comics, and that's been fun. It's been nice. I've been I buy this shit, and it comes. I mean, it's a periodical, so every month there's a new one, and before long it can get to be like, oh, you're behind on this. Well, now you got like 8 of them to read, and it's like shit. So like I don't know. It's been nice this weekend to get caught up on some stuff and you know, um, uh, push forward on that a little bit. So yeah,
That's what that's
I've
what
been
winters are
doing.
for.
I agree, 100%. I shouldn't be going outside in this. I should be staying inside and just keeping warm and catching up on everything that I didn't do throughout the year. So, um, yeah. All right. Well, you have anything else for this?
No, no. That's all
All
I've been
right.
really watching.
All right. We're moving on, doing this now. It's time to fly high with Blackbird Cigars. Blackbird Cigars offers you remarkable quality using the most delicate and finest tobacco to always ensure that you're receiving unsurpassed cigars. Blackbird Cigars strives to give you undoubted repeating flavor for every cigar you smoke and impressive quality so that you can always expect greatness. Check out their website for a full list of stores carrying Blackbird Cigars and give them a test flight. Blackbird Cigars can't clip our wings. Dude, I don't know what it is. My left hand, perfectly warm. My right hand is frozen freaking solid. And I don't know what the
Really?
hell. I don't know. The only thing I can figure is I do have this fan on top of the little buddy on this side to circulate the air, and maybe it's blowing the wind. I don't know what the hell, but oh my God, it's just like, yeah, my right hand is just frozen freaking solid. Anyway, all right, so time for the Blackbird segment. So in the late 1800s and early 1900s, cigar factories, especially in Tampa, specifically Ybor City, New York, and Pennsylvania, and Ohio, were some of the largest employers in their towns. Many of them sponsored organized baseball teams made up almost entirely of cigar rollers and tobacco workers. These were not casual sandlot games. They played in industrial leagues, sometimes called factory leagues, with schedules, uniforms, standings, and paid umpires. Games were often held on Sundays or after shifts and drew big crowds from the local immigrant communities, Cubans, Spaniards, Italians, and Germans, who packed the stands like it was a civic event. What makes cigar factories unique is that rollers already worked in a highly communal environment. They shared space, listened to lectors, reading newspapers and novels aloud, and debated politics all day. Baseball became a natural extension of that culture, another way to build pride, rivalry, and identity. A factory's team's success reflected directly on its reputation. Some owners leaned into it hard. Winning teams got bonuses, better shifts, or lighter workloads. Star players were sometimes quietly given easier rolling quotas. Rival factories used games as marketing. Quote, our cigars are as good as our shortstop, things like that. But in the 1920s, as mechanization increased and factory work changed, many of these leagues faded. But for a few decades, cigars, community, and baseball were tightly intertwined, especially in Ybor City, where the sport helped cement cigar workers as the cultural backbone of the city. So hit a home run with Blackbird Cigars and don't let anybody clip your wings.
Nice.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, you could have gone down to see the El Rey Low Knights taking on the whatever. I mean, like I think we ought to do that now. I think that should be something for PCA. I think right now at PCA, or last year they did the comedy, where they had the manufacturers get up and do the comedy and everything. I think we ought to have a cigar league softball team or league game or some shit like that. It's like have
Now,
these guys play some baseball or softball or something.
I bet
Kickball. We
you
can have dodgeball. There we go.
you couldn't do like company teams because they just don't send enough people.
Mm-hmm.
But what you
Yeah,
could do is like
Drew Estate does. They have enough fucking reps to field two teams.
you could you could do like Team Nicaragua versus
Yeah.
Team
Oh,
Honduras
there you
against
go.
Dominican,
I like it. I like it.
and then yeah, you could do something like that. That would be
I,
awesome.
I think it'd be good. I think it'd be real good.
And spring in New Orleans, it'll be warm enough.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
Now, if
Mm-hmm.
you could get them all sober enough,
That makes it fun. That adds to the fun. Babe Ruth was hardly sober when he was playing, and look how he did. By the way, I heard a stat the other day. I'm gonna bring this up. I'm this is one of those like on the fly kind of things. I'm gonna blow your mind for a moment here though. Um so Dick Van Dyke recently turned 100 years old.
yep, I posted that on my Facebook.
Babe Ruth hit 405 home runs after Dick Van Dyke was born.
Yeah,
That's fucked up.
yeah, that's crazy.
I mean, I love that though. I love everybody thinks of history as like this linear timeline of this happened, this happened, this happened. But like there's so much overlap that takes
Right.
place in history. And it's like, yeah, you learn about, this and you learn about that, but did you realize that these were actually happening like only like maybe years apart or at the same time
Well,
even and everything?
I've
And yeah, I like
I've
that.
got one for you. It's similar.
Okay.
I read, and it was one of those time facts that fuck you up.
Yeah.
Cleopatra reigned closer to the erection of the first
He's
Pizza
got
Hut
it.
than she did the pyramids.
Wow.
You think, but the pyramids were so far before her.
Which is just what makes it even more incredible that they were built without the influence of alien cult technology. Just saying.
Right. I mean, that's a whole conversation for Trey Mac.
Oh, yeah, we've had that conversation.
Yeah.
Like, oh yeah,
I watch those shows too, and it's
even
like
I have to say, I'm not saying, but I'm saying, like, there's something really hinky about that. Like I could
something's
definitely,
missing. Something is
yeah,
missing.
there's a
I don't care
huge
how many people you've got pulling on a block,
well, and
you
then
know.
now you're hearing I saw a report or a article not too long ago where they talked about all these giant underground structures underneath the pyramids and how they might be connecting and everything like that to where you have this entire underground section that maybe was previously unknown or didn't know that it was as big as it is. And so like yeah, I mean there's dude, I'm telling you, there's a whole history of this planet and our species
That we
that
have no
we
idea.
have no idea about. And we think we know everything. And like, there's so much we don't. And yeah, and that doesn't even get into the whole idea of like what's underneath the ocean. Cause I'm telling you, like,
Oh,
you
there's
know,
tons of shit, has got
we're
to be
living
buried.
on the crust of this rock. And like, you go deep, there's stuff down there we don't even know exists,
They
you
can't get
know?
down there really well.
Exactly. Exactly. So it's fascinating. It's really fascinating stuff. I love it. Oh my gosh. Well, I'm digging my inch. I did get to the point that I had to take the band off.
I did too. I'm about, 2/3 through.
Yeah, I'd say you and I are right about the
Yeah.
same boat there. So, oh
Still
my
smoking
gosh,
good. No
it
wrapper
is.
problems down below. Uh,
No, I haven't had any. I've been very pleased with how this is smoked, with the exception of that little bit of tar bleed. But I still think that was on me. I think I cut it a little too shallow and was trying to I think I had just enough of a draw that I was able to draw and smoke well, but I think it was just slightly tight to where I probably needed to clip it just a little bit deeper to clear that out. I don't know. Shit happens. That's the thing. Cigar smokers, we're way too picky sometimes.
right.
It's like, oh, the humidity isn't right where I want it to be. And blah, 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 blah. It's like, it's fine. Does it smoke
Right.
fine? It's fine. You know?
Like right now, both my humidors are running about 62 to 64.
They're fine.
And yeah, and they're smoking great,
I like to
Uh,
keep my humidor at 63 to 65 on the regular.
yeah, I try not to get above 68
Yeah.
if I can. If it starts getting up there, I'll open it up for a little bit. It lets some air through there and everything. But
Um, I do have to be watching my water level in my Oasis right now, though.
well, see,
Um,
I've got one coming Monday for the big new humidor.
watch the water level.
Hmm.
That's the only thing I'll say is because, well, your environment's even more different than mine, though. It's
Yeah,
so fucking dry here right now, dude.
yeah,
And I can hear my Oasis kicking on and working like more now than it did during the summertime and everything. And
right.
so that's why I have to be watching the water level because it's just going like nuts right now, trying to keep
Do you
up with
have
it.
a humidifier on your furnace?
That's a good question. I don't know.
Because if so, you might need to turn it on for the year, for the winter.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if I do or not.
Because it drains the humidity in the summer, and it's supposed to, put moisture back in the air for the winter when the furnace is running.
I don't know. I'll have to look.
Yeah,
I'll
most
have
of them
to
have a
see.
winter and summer setting.
I don't know. Yeah, I'll have to look for that. Um, but yeah, it generally is just it's running pretty hard right now. So I'm watching the water levels because I'm stocked up on distilled water. I want to make sure I keep those beets nice and plump. It's like
Yeah,
I don't want
yeah.
them drying up, because I don't want the cigars in there drying up, obviously. So
Yeah, it is amazing after this first full year down here how much longer the Boveda packs last in Georgia compared
mm,
to St. Louis.
right, and
It's
even
like,
here they too tend to last a while,
right.
but yeah, no, they eventually dry up.
Yeah.
So,
They
huh.
last so long, I sometimes forget about them, and it's like,
Mm-hmm.
wow, I've had that in there
Yeah.
because I bought a bunch and I kept them in their sealed, deal until I needed all of them. And
Yeah.
I haven't used many at all. And I know I've got the good digital hygrometers in there. So I know it is what it is.
Yeah.
But
Well,
mine
that's
are,
good.
mine are smaller. I've got two smaller, like 75 to 100 count humidors.
Yeah.
So
It'll be interesting when you get this big one and
yeah,
load that up, which that would be my only thing is load it up, man. Like make sure there's lots in there to keep it regulated.
right.
Um,
Like a
that's
fridge. You got to have stuff
exactly.
in there.
Yep. I know I've got plenty in my cabinet and I still have way more than I need. I swear. I just still have way more. Well, you and I were talking. You asked me the other day, like, oh, you going to any lounge Christmas parties? And I'm like, no. And it's because, like, I really haven't been hitting the lounges this year. Like, this has definitely been, if I look back at 25, and I just kind of look at bullet points of, my cigar smoking habits for the year. This was definitely the year of smoking at home.
Yeah.
I was not a social smoker much at all this year. I mean, unless I was going somewhere, like going to Palm Coast or to Miami or going specifically for something like that. I really didn't chill out at lounges and shops and smoke, publicly like that. I did a little bit in the beginning of the year in the winter at the shop that's closest to my house, only because I'll tell you, and I'm gonna get there. Like today, if you and I were not recording this,
It's not enjoyable for you.
well, dude, my hand is like a block of ice at this point. Like, I don't know. It's one of those things. I'm not going to sit out here for hours and have a couple cigars. It's like this is a day that I would consider going to the lounge and chilling, snuggling into one of their leather chairs and just watching TV and smoking there.
Right.
But like, the rest of the year, fuck, I'm fine. I got so many cigars here. I don't need to go anywhere else. I got my TV right here. I can watch whatever the hell I want to watch. Um, this desktop, it's a little elevated. It's a work table and it's designed, I think, to stand at. So it's not
Yeah.
quite at the normal desk height. So thankfully the chair I've got is also a little elevated. If I were to get like a normal, like um lawn chair or some other kind of chair to sit here, I would be, like this would the desk would be hitting me at about this
You,
height. So
you look like a little kid at the daddy desk.
I would, which is why, like, you sent me that link to that heated chair. I think that
Hmm.
looks great, and I'm probably gonna buy one, but I can't use it for the show because it's like I'll be like sitting too low for the
It is rather it
for
is
the
a rather
show.
tall chair. I mean, it's a good size
Well,
height.
that all right. Well, then I'll have to see how it
Yeah,
sits then. Yeah.
right.
Um, but yeah, that would be the only thing is that I'd have to see that. But yeah, otherwise, this has definitely been the year I've smoked at home. So no, I don't want to. I'm not going to go hit up any Christmas parties because, dude, I'm going to be the interloper. I'm going to be the guy that like, where have you been all fucking year? That kind of
Right.
thing. It's just going to be weird. So, I'm just like, yeah, I think I'm over that. But so I've kind of transitioned from being the lounge guy to the come in, buy my sticks and leave guy, you
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
which whatever.
Well, I
I
know that
mean,
last year it was mainly me and you meeting up at a lounge, or you
mm-hmm,
didn't go.
mm-hmm.
And a lot of times we didn't even go to a lounge. We'd go to a bar
Yeah, a
where
bar
we
or
could smoke.
restaurant that we could smoke at.
Right.
Um, that one at Cafe Telegraph, we'd hit up
Yeah.
them, or Top Shooters or whatever.
Once we found that back patio, it's like we were
Yeah,
there a
well,
lot.
oh, dude, especially considering Top Shooters fucking up their prices so goddamn much that it's like,
Right.
I mean, I'm trying to think. I think the last time I went there, you might have still been living here the last time I went
Pro
there. I mean,
Probably.
it's been a long time since I've been there because I mean, I'm sorry, but when it got to the point that their boneless chicken wings, the price wasn't on the menu because the price changed daily based upon the market price of chicken. Come on, you
And let's
know?
face it, chicken's cheap. I mean,
Yeah,
you look at all these restaurants are giving away chicken strips and stuff.
right. No. So
You
like
know.
they were gouging and they were banking on guys coming in and being all like, "Oh, you're going to come in and see the women and do this and blah, blah, blah," and it's like I don't need that, It's
No.
like I don't because I mean we've talked about it before. It's like those girls. It's like shit. I was old enough to be their dad, so it was kind of like
Right.
it got to the point where it's like okay, this is a little skeevy.
And they
But
hated coming outside in the winter.
yeah, and they had all those heaters and everything out there. That patio was nice and heated, but they hated coming out. So like the service sucked, and then the prices were what they were, and it's like, you know what? I don't need to do it. So
Yeah.
I'm fine. And hell, and now where I'm living, it's a fucking drive. It's a
Right.
solid, 35, 40 minute drive for me to
Oh
get there.
wow.
It's like, I'm not really anxious to do that when I could be at the Tinderbox just up the road in 5 minutes, or I could be sitting here in the garage and, doing generally okay. I mean, shit, yeah, when it's like, you know, 20 degrees outside but feels like 10, yeah, that's a little cold to be sitting out in the garage, but
And that doesn't happen all the time in St. Louis.
it
Like
doesn't. So that's why, because that's the thing. I'm looking at the weather app right now. Right now, it's 18 degrees, feels like 10. But tomorrow, it's a high of 42. Tuesday, high of 48. Wednesday, 51. And Thursday, 55. So, I mean, like this week, I will be fine sitting in the garage and smoking. Hell. Thursday, it's going to rain. But, like, honestly, I don't care about that, but like, and it's gonna be sunny some of these days. So like Wednesday, when it's 51 and sunny, I might even be able to have the garage door popped up, and as long as I'm sitting in the sun, I'll be just fine.
right. Yeah.
So although Wednesday will be my day driving all over Hell's Half Acre, so I'll be in the car anyway. But whatever. The point is that I really haven't gone anywhere this year to where I feel comfortable crashing somebody's Christmas party. Now, look, could I go to the Hill and be perfectly welcomed at their Christmas party? Yes, I could go to the Hill and be perfectly welcomed there. Um, am I going to though? No, because I haven't. I mean, I've stopped in there maybe 2 times this year to buy cigars. I'm not gonna like go in there and be like,
Well,
you
and
know,
I keep up with all the shops still kind of down up there on Facebook, and
mm-hmm,
I, other than the Hill, no one else has advertised a Christmas party.
mm-hmm, exactly.
I mean, it's just
Now, are they having them? Yeah, they're probably having them, but it's like internally, talked about. It's not like a
right.
advertised deal, so it's fine. Mm, I don't know. I will say, I would think at some point, I don't know, I haven't heard any more about CI coming in. Um, I think St. Louis got pushed to the back burner a little bit. I think they made the announcement, but I think a few other cities kind of went up the list for
Hmm.
CI to get done first.
I saw
Um,
they just opened one. I can't remember where it was a couple weeks ago or something.
Kentucky,
Yeah.
it's just south of Cincinnati, I think.
Okay.
Um, like right near the border.
Hmm.
I think they opened one in Kentucky. But so they're still doing it, but I'll be curious to see when they come to town, what that does, in terms of the other shops, like are they going to amp up their event promotion and things like that, or is it going to be what it is? So I don't know.
You never know.
No, you just don't. So anyway, well, I guess I'm on Instagram at the Cigar Pulpit. I'm on Facebook where we have the Pulpit Parishioners group. If you're in the Pulpit Parishioners group, I did put up a post. It's pinned under the featured post tab thing there on the page. Um, the Cigar of the Year, Parishioner Cigar of the Year nominations are open. So if you haven't nominated your favorite cigar of 2025 yet, go in there, just drop a comment on that post. And I'm adding it. I've got a running list going right now of everything that everybody said. If you don't want to do that, you can email me at nick@cigarpulpit.com. That's NICK at cigarpulpit.com. And just shoot me an email and tell me what cigars you want added to the list, and I'll add those to the list. And then the voting will start. I'll announce when the voting starts, and everybody can start casting their ballots for the cigar of the year. I'm on Twitter/X. You can watch the show on Rumble and YouTube. And then I do need your calls for Ask the Pulpit, so you can give the hotline a call at area code 863-874-0000. That's 863-874-0000. And as
Hey,
Mike
you remembered it that time.
I did remember at that time. And as Mike pointed out, call in with your cigar memory of the year. Call in like what are some of the memorable cigars of 2025 that you smoked? Maybe it's a really, really good cigar that just like for whatever reason just hit you just at that moment, just perfectly. Or maybe it was a situation and it's like, the whole environment came together to have just a really wonderful smoking experience. But what was your top cigar memories of 2025? And then
Awesome.
Mike, where are you?
I'm on Facebook. I'm on the parishioners group. You can reach me through there if you got a comment or, question or just anything.
There you go. Oh, well, fun. Well, I am rapidly, mm, rapidly approaching the end of this inch.
Yeah, me too.
It's gotten down to the point where it's like just kind of hanging on, and mm, I could probably keep at it for a little bit longer, but um, it's probably gonna need a little bit more fire. And if I give it more fire, I don't know if I'm gonna keep at it. So. But it's been good. It's been a
Yeah.
nice cigar.
I
So
I smoke I smoke probably a box or so of these a year.
yeah,
Yeah.
okay. Um, so last thing before I let you go, you got any cigar of the year predictions? Not just parishioner wise, but I know the guys at the Authority did their predictions for the cigar aficionado, cigar journal, blah 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 and all that. I mean, I don't know. Any you
I
think
don't
anybody's gonna stand out?
I don't know. I've gotten into a few of mine. I did buy the contenders pack.
Mm-hmm.
I've gotten into a couple of mine. I'm gonna try and do the rest this week because I know they're getting ready to wrap up their stuff.
When does voting end on that? I don't even know.
That's what I forgot if they said on the last episode or not.
Yeah, you
But
might want to be smoking those here soon.
yeah, I got to get on that. But it's
There
hard to
were some good
tell.
ones in that.
Yeah, there were some really good ones in that, especially stuff I hadn't tried, and that's what I
Yeah.
liked about it. Is like, there's some good ones, and they're not too pricey, and uh, I'm really interested to get through it to see what I think about them.
Mm-hmm.
But I really don't have any predictions because, you know, people are weird, and I know Cigar Aficionado is going to be coming out with theirs this week.
Yeah.
That's a whole different story. Uh,
Yeah, that's
we've discussed that off
yeah.
camera before.
Let's go through the magazines for a year and see who bought the most. Anyway, I didn't say that. But, um, but look, it's always the same people at the top of that list. It's always, you got Fuente, you've got Padron, Davidoff, Rocky never gets past number two. You've got JC Newman that's sometimes in the mix there. Ashton tends to sometimes sneak into the top list. And then
And
there's
then
the
the
Cubans.
Cubans, yeah,
Yeah.
you know, I mean, I like
Hmm.
the way Two Guys does it with, it's got to be this year release and stuff like that. Can't be some 15-year-old cigar that gets,
I no, I agree with that. I don't hold the parishioners to that
right.
because for the parishioners, cigar of the year, I understand that since I'm asking listeners to do it, they're kind of held to what
What they've
their
got around.
what their shops bring in. I
Yeah.
mean, yeah, they could all go to Two Guys and buy. Um and if they want to try something and their local shop doesn't have it, that's a really good option. But on the flip side, they are hitting their local shops, and if their local shop doesn't carry XYZ, then obviously they probably aren't going to try that.
Especially if that's the only place they can smoke.
Exactly.
You can't sit there and
So
buy a contender pack and take it to a lounge, unless
no,
it's a
no.
private lounge where you can bring your own sticks.
Yeah. So I get why, they might be a little bit more open to other things. So I don't really hold them to that. It must be released this year. And to be honest, man, sometimes it's like you look at a list and you're like, what came out this year? And you're like, oh shit, there was a fair amount. But like putting me on the spot right now to say what came out this year,
Right.
I mean, I could probably come up with some. But there are going to be some pretty big ones that I overlook and I forget,
And a
and
lot of those are special editions, which, a lot of people can't get a hold of. Oh, hey, we only got one box. It was gone.
uh-huh,
I mean,
uh-huh. And I'm not a big fan of special editions getting the top spot. I like the fact that it can't be a limited edition, that gets it.
or if
So,
you're going to do that, make it just a list of limited editions.
yeah. Yeah.
I mean, okay, of the limited editions that came out, these were our favorites.
Yeah.
You know, that's different than, oh, putting
Yeah.
against everybody else.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it'll be interesting to see. Um, if there's one thing about Cigar Aficionado's list, I think at this point, we can say, oh, it's probably one of those brands that I listed off earlier, but like, you can't predict it. I mean, who in the world
No.
would have predicted the my father that made it, at the
Right.
beginning of this year? It's like nobody predicted that, So I don't think anybody saw that aging room coming when that
No,
got it.
uh-uh.
I
I
mean,
do like aging room though some.
look, it's a great cigar, but at the end, but ultimately, there were some shops that had it in its $5 bin that they had to take out, in order to
Right.
put it back on display when it won.
Yeah.
So it's just one of those ones that sometimes it's this one that just kind of comes out of nowhere. Um, I don't know. It'll be interesting to see. Hopefully, I just hope it's not a Cuban. That's the only thing I'll say is I hope
Yeah,
it's not a Cuban
that's
because
stupid.
I think when they do that, they hurt everybody. But
Right.
whatever.
And
So
they're not paying for ads.
no, no, no. Now wait, are they though?
Well, yeah, who knows? I mean,
See, that's the thing. I would say no, not directly. Like there's no
but they
ads
may
for
be doing
there,
something under the
there's no ads for Habanos in the magazines, but I will say, maybe it seems like maybe once every couple of years there's that big your travel guide to Cuba episode that
Yeah.
comes or issue that comes out and that kind of thing. And it's those are the kind of things that make me think, maybe there's some boy, I don't want to get into a point where somebody's like accusing me of like,
Right.
slander, but it's like, I just let's put it this way: you can purchase an article, you know. It's called an advertorial. And if it's not labeled as such, you're just going to think it's another article when in reality it was a totally purchased, product. And um, maybe there is some of that going on. I don't know. I can't say, but it
Well,
does make you wonder.
my whole thing is, if you can't legally buy them, how are they getting them to test them?
Well, that's a good question now, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, it's like they just shouldn't be involved.
No,
If you,
no.
if they
Or
can't be bought legally, you shouldn't be able
and
to
if they
rate it.
want to do it, then have a separate top five Cuban cigars list. Segregate them out from the rest of the other stuff.
Right,
You know,
right,
you're an American publication. Segregate them out from the other stuff. Don't compare a Cuban cigar to all the New World cigars that you're putting on the list. It's
right.
not fair. But
Nope.
anyway, all righty. Well, Mike, I think I've lost all feeling in my right hand, so
I hear
I'm
you.
gonna go inside where it's nice and warm. But I've appreciated the conversation, buddy.
Hey, thanks for having me on today.
No, this has been great. All right, final thought, real quick. I really enjoyed the inch. It was good.
Yeah, I always enjoy these. This one did great, even with that issue at the beginning.
See,
Uh,
and that goes back to cigar smokers are picky people. You had that happen. You smoked past it, and it's been fine.
right.
Yeah.
And I did nothing to it.
So there you go. No big
All
deal.
right.
All right, Mike. Thank you so much.
All right. Thank you.
And I really want to thank Mike for taking time out of his day to sit and chat with me. I appreciate it, especially since I know it's getting cooler for him and he's out on the porch. And, I mean, I'm doing the best I can with my heaters. My right hand is definitely frozen. I don't know why my right hand is colder than my left hand. I'll have to, whatever. It'll be fine. But anyway, I already went over the socials and everything else. So I guess this is just me of, saying thank you for listening, and I will catch you guys on Friday. Guys, this has been another sermon from the Cigar Pulpit. Everybody stay safe, stay smoky. Take it easy, everyone.